And 3, 2, good.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is April 27th, 2026, and I will call the regular meeting of the Tipp City Board of Education to order at 6:30 p.m. I'd like to start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next, I need approval of
attendance.
Oh, I missed it. Mr. Stevens, will you please call the roll?
Certainly. Mrs. McMurray.
Here.
Mrs. Dillard.
Here.
Mrs. Ernst.
Here.
Mrs. Plyman.
Here.
Mr. Thompson. Here. All present and accounted for. We do have a quorum and may continue the meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Stevens. Now, I need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Dillard.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mrs. Ernst. Is there any discussion? I would like to remove new business, letter G, from the agenda, please. Is there anything else? Can I have a motion to approve the amended agenda for tonight's meeting?
I'll motion.
Thank you, Mrs. Dillard. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Ms. Plyman. Any discussion about the amended agenda? Hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Dillard.
Yes.
Plyman.
Yes.
Ernst.
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes.
Thompson. Yes.
The motion is passed, and we can move on with our meeting. First up, student recognition. Hey.
All right, good evening, everyone. For some of you, I think the rain might have got you here, possibly. We're glad to have you, even though I wish it wasn't raining, but we're glad you're here. We're going to recognize our students from Broadway first. And again, what we're going to do is just recognize you for your work. I'll kind of read what the building said about you real quick. You come up here, we give you a certificate. Walk through the line, get a high five, fist bump, whatever you prefer, shake hands. And then you'll go over to the backdrop there of Miss Robbins. Right there, Miss Robbins will be taking pictures. Parents, you're welcome to come up, take pictures up front here as well as over there. So don't hesitate to come up there. And if I screw up your name, yell at me right away and I'll correct it first thing, okay? All right, so first off, we're going to start with Broadway Elementary. And we have a Super Scientist Award. Goes to Kason Matelski. Is Kason here? There he is. So Kason did a phenomenal job doing and explaining his science experiment to the class. He was so articulate that he even answered adult and children's questions about it. And what was your science fair project?
It was to make a balloon inflate without blowing it.
And how'd you do that?
I made a called carbon dioxide.
Okay, and then that blew up the balloon.
Yeah.
All right. Future scientist, right? All right, good. Congratulations, Casey. There you go. And just go down here, don't read your pictures for your mom.
Yeah. Awesome. Good job. Great job, Kason. Good job.
Go all the way down. Next is Remy Yeats. Remy here. There she is. Remy taught the class about the worry monster. She learned about this new strategy from Mrs. Gress and then taught our whole class about what we can do when we have a worry. What do you do with it? Can you help me?
So if you have a worry, you write it down on a sticky note and then you put it in his mouth and then zip it up and then put it back.
And then you kind of let him take care of it, huh? All right. So did everybody learn from that? Do you still do that? You're probably worry-free though, aren't you? Congratulations. Thank you for your work. All right, Brentley Walker. There he is. Brentley pours himself into his schoolwork. He reads with great expression and makes reading come to life and enjoyable for all. So you regular class, and you read to people, and you enjoy that, huh? All right, as well as baseball. All right. Good job. Thank you.
Good job, sir.
Rhett McGinnis. Rhett is a well-rounded student who excels in academics. He is genuinely kind to all those around him and is a great role model. Congratulations. Thank you for all you do. Connor Ledbetter. There he is. Connor has been working incredibly hard and is focused and participates in the classroom. Connor wants to learn and has grown so much this year. And Connor, you are in kindergarten. You grow the most in kindergarten, probably, right? Good job. Congratulations. Keep up the good work. There you go. All right, and last from Broadway is Weston Mervar. This is Weston here. There he is. Okay, good. Weston shows initiative with his learning and behavior. He is always excited to learn something new and share what he knows. What you learned this year so far has been the greatest thing? Everything? Okay, we'll take that. Good. Congratulations. Thank you. Here you go. All right, that's all the Broadway kids. Now we'll move on to LT Ball. So we have Connor Blake. Connor is the Artistic Excellence Award. He has shown extra dedication in completing his latest project. His desire to add detail and make it his very best has impressed Mrs. Walters. She's excited to watch his artwork come to life. So what did you have what did you have at the art show? Okay. Well, when you guys had to draw it from the table, you guys okay, I remember walking through the classroom. Okay. So art's your favorite class? One of them? PE. Well, thank you.
Wrong one.
Oh, sorry.
That's
I
all
gave you a piece of paper. You didn't need that. You need a certificate. Our Caring Leader Award goes to Gwyneth Upton. She has given up her time, including recess time, to support her friends. She has helped several students complete their projects so they can be featured and elevate the arts. Thank you very much for helping out. There you go. Congratulations. Oh, you gotta get your picture taken. And then the last three, Artistic Commitment Award. Ariella Wrights, Athena Chanel, Nora Rucker. Right here. Ariella. Athena. They've been working extra hard on art projects. They have given up recess time to work with Mrs. Walters to produce their best work. So thank you for your dedication, girls. All right, we'll move down to Tipp Middle School. Student Leadership and Kindness Award. Ella Bay. It's from Tina. We recently had a new student join our school, and before they even had a chance to connect with her on her first day, Elle had already introduced herself and made her feel welcome. She went above and beyond by asking about the student's schedule, seeing if they shared any classes, volunteering to show her around the building, including where her locker and classes were located. Ella's actions reflect strong character through her kindness and empathy, as well as leadership in taking initiative without being asked. This also highlights her growth as a student who is confident in stepping up and supporting others. Starting at a new middle school could be challenging, but Ella's willingness to lead and support others made that transition much easier. She truly represents the positive culture we strive to build in our school. Congratulations. And Josh Jerusalem, hopefully I said that name correctly. Josh, we're honoring Tipp Middle School 7th grader Josh for his calm, courageous, and selfless actions during a serious traffic accident the other week. While returning to school after a medical appointment, Josh and his father, Master Sergeant Michael Jerusalem of the Ohio Air National Guard, came upon an accident on I-70 just moments after it occurred. With no emergency responders on the scene, his father, who's in military uniform, stopped to render aid to the injured driver. And Josh, who's just 13 years old, immediately asked how he could help. He was given the critical task of calling 911. He did so successfully, helping emergency responders respond quickly to the scene. At one point, Josh also stepped out to offer additional help when he saw his father struggling. In a moment of crisis, Josh showed maturity, compassion, and a willingness to act. His quick thinking and calm response reflect the best of our students. We are proud to recognize Josh for demonstrating courage, composure, and kindness beyond his years. You're not married. All right, and tonight we're going to recognize a lot of the FCCLA students for their accomplishment. We'll start off with Audrey Bargy and Madeline Lieber. They earned gold in professional presentation and qualified for the FCCLA State Conference, where they continued their success by earning gold at the state level. So Audrey. Congratulations. And what was your project? What was your professional presentation? What did you have to do?
We had to present to 3 classes for regionals, and then for state, we had to do something to make our presentation bigger and
So it was
go further.
about supporting mental health of students, kids,
Yep.
adults, everyone?
Everyone, but
All
mainly
right.
students.
Mainly students. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Penny Backgate, she earned silver in Focus on Children. And what was your project?
Identifying emotions in children and managing emotions.
Managing emotions. I could use your help.
Thank you.
And then, last of the SCCLA students is Eli Stifler and Thomas Richards. They earned silver in chapter and review, qualified for the FCCLA State Conference, and have now advanced to compete at the FCCLA Nationals in Washington, D.C. this July. So congratulations. Tom, congratulations. And what's your project going?
So our project is like a portfolio of this year in FCCLA. So it goes over basically everything that we've done and how it impacts the community.
So you coordinated all the notes and all the meetings and all the activities that you have and present that to somebody,
Pretty much.
pretty much. So you got good memories. Good memories. All right. Congratulations. And when in July?
July 5th.
All right. Good luck. You guys will do well, I'm sure.
Thanks.
Have fun.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
I'm excited, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you.
And then our last nominee is Mary Weigel. She was recognized for her hard work, preparation, leadership, and commitment to, no. She is the Gem Shimmering Ruby Award recipient, an art award for her project that was done. So I don't think Mary's here tonight, but congratulations to her. And that's it. That's all. So parents and kids, I know you want to stay. It's very exciting here, I'm sure. If you have other things to do, feel free to leave as well. Thank you for coming.
Another amazing group of kids.
Never gets old.
No, it's awesome.
I would love to see those projects.
I got to judge for HOSA this year, the health science competition. It's impressive to watch these kids, like even they'll give them a, like right then and there a topic and they have like 45 minutes to get their thoughts together. And it was pretty amazing. I got to judge for HOSA, the health science. It's awesome.
Hey, no problem, thank you. You're welcome, you're welcome. Bye, guys.
All right.
Is this still running?
I think so.
All right. I think we're good. Okay.
Construction.
Mr. Moran, could you give us an update on the construction and operations with the pre-K to 8 project as well as the Tippecanoe High School project?
Great, so if you drove by, you see a lot of a block going up. That is the firewalls, so based on code, the buildings are separated, so if there were a fire, it can be contained to certain sections. So that's what's going up, as well as the staircases and the elevators already been done for a few weeks. So there's a pour that's going on B for concrete, and I think I put in my notes that steel is going to start next week being delivered in order to let the concrete, they don't want to drive over the concrete to make it, break it as they're curing it. So just some logistics there, but that's not changing anything. They seem to be making good progress. They keep going up, and moving over to the different sections. Everything's still on track, on budget, and it's exciting to see things go up. So we're already, a year and a half will be fast for us, I think. In the high school project, the chiller is completed installation. It is working, thank goodness. It took a lot of push to make sure it was done and to get done as fast as possible, but actually done right as well. So we're appreciative of everybody's effort and the various companies working with Shook to make that happen. We do have a logistics plan. So as mentioned earlier, we are going to do new furniture throughout the academic wing. We were looking at one, but based on the cost, we can do all of it, and within budget, it's within the allowance. So that's all going to be done this summer. All the furniture in the academic wing will be completed and put in this summer, which is, I think, great. It'll be easy to match and logistic-wise, they take it out, bring new stuff in. We're excited about that. I did share with you earlier, and I gave you a handout of the traffic study. And this is just the last page of the traffic study. So we are working with the city. This is a start. One of the things, and if you've been at the high school dropping off in the mornings, it's a little chaotic with parents dropping off and students coming in, students walking through the parking lot as parents and students are actually coming in the park. We're looking to make it safer and more efficient, and one of those things is dealing with Success Circle. So Success Circle is right now where our buses come in off of Don Davis Way by the water tower. And we had a traffic study commissioned to see about the potential of splitting up bus, student, and parent drop-off for safety purposes. And the traffic study came back, and really everything looks good except for the Don Davis Way, and some people may call it Don Davis Speedway at times, depending on the hour of the day at times. So one of the things, right now, Don Davis Way is two-way traffic, 2 lanes each direction. And our buses, it's scary to pull out left, and that's where our buses were pulling out in the past. They actually cut through now on where the student exit is, parent-student exit is now, because you're going around kind of a blind curve. So we're looking at changing that. One, looking at pushing some of the trees back where we're able to make a clear line of sight. But the other piece is it would funnel down to a 1 lane only on the, I call it the west side, so the far right side going south. That would go down to 1 lane, and then eventually it would open up to a turn lane only, because right now it's just 2 lanes going straight south. That would allow, again, cars to back up if need to be, to turn into Success Circle without impeding traffic, and provide anybody pulling out of Success Circle to actually pull out easier to turn left if they need be. So this is what we're looking at as our the next step in moving this as a parent drop-off would be parents would use Success Circle to drop off and leave campus that way. The student parking would still be at the front, and the buses would actually use the horseshoe that is parent drop-off, and that would be a bus only in and out. And we believe we can stack all the buses there. Kids can come out there, right there, jump on the buses, and then leave, and we can control and help out with traffic with our SO, kind of what we're doing right now. But that's all still in the works. We got to figure out cost. That's still we have a budget of dollars for that. We want to make sure it's in the budget, and if it's not, what's it going to cost to do that? But this is for not this coming summer, but the summer of 2027. So the traffic study has said what we can do, what makes sense. Now we're going to be designing work to determine the logistics, the financial logistics of doing these changes. So I'm excited about the potential of having some clean areas. And even right now, if you're dropping off kids or picking up kids at the end of the day, I mean, they're literally parked on Tipp or Kessler Colesville Road, and kids are running out to the cars as everybody's trying to get around them. And we don't, safety wise, if they're on Success Circle, there's a long runway for people to park and get into the cars without having to be out on the road. And we're thinking that's going to be much safer, and that's the goal. So we're working with the city on that. We would have to do the striping on this. It wouldn't be like a whole redo of like mill or anything like that. It'd just be striping of they call it thermoplastic that would have to be laid down. So we're getting cost estimates on that soon with the PK, or excuse me, with the high school project phase of the phase 2 2027, summer 2027. Okay.
What's the just curious, why does it have to wait a year for this to happen?
Because we don't have plans.
Okay.
We were when we found out we were under budget, this was one of the things that we looked at doing. Therefore, this was the thing, they don't have the design. We got to see how much it's going to cost, make sure it doesn't lose parking, all those pieces. So they'll be forthcoming.
That won't be accomplished prior to school year start.
There's not enough time to, the north parking lot's gonna be milled and filled this summer. They're coming in right away, like in June, because they need to get onto the next job.
Gotcha.
And to do the bids and everything else, there's just not enough time
Okay.
for 8, 12 weeks to get it done.
Gotcha.
As someone who has been in an accident in Tipp City, with clearly marked red this way, yellow this way, is there any thoughts of any kind of light or anything?
Right now, the traffic study is not recommending those things happen. There's nothing with the traffic study that's saying there needs to be a traffic light or anything. That's why we do those types of things. So we'll continue to work with the city.
Yeah.
But the site is, it is problematic right now with the trees.
Does the plan include anything for the folks who would be turning left
Right.
out of there? Since this is already the left in to Success Circle is now going to be blocking visibility of people who'd be coming in that right lane.
That's kind of what.
Well,
I
there's
was
still
getting
2
at.
lanes going south.
Right, yes. So the ability for someone to turn into the left of those 2 lanes in a protected way.
That's what I said, there's no light right now.
Yeah.
That's not something is warranted based on the
Okay.
traffic study. Something we can ask, but I don't think there is anything else at this time
Okay.
that the traffic study is recommending.
Okay.
I think the thought process is, and again, I'll have to get with the traffic study, that's a question I can follow up on. But I think the traffic study is saying it's not needed at this time.
Okay.
And part of the discussions with the city, has the discussion when the new homes that are being built there off of North Hyatt, there was some talk at some point that the vehicles would be not coming up Hyatt Street, down Main to Hyatt, they'd be coming like from Don Davis. Is that being considered also?
They'd have their own traffic study for that.
Okay.
Now, again, I'd have to do some research into that, but I don't know if that really affects that area, but it could. It could. I think most people, again, may just take Hyatt south to 25A versus going around the school, but that would be my guess. And right now, the project is it's not the full project of
Right.
400 houses.
It's 190. I like the left turn. I'm just with Katie. Yeah, that's why I got hit head on.
So with this, is the expectation then that the parents' drop-off would come up 25A and turn by the Casey's and come in that way and not come up Hyatt Street and turn left on Kessler-Colesville?
They could go either way. They could come up,
But they're still supposed to drop off in that
In the back.
circle?
yes.
No,
Well, it's,
no.
they enter Success Circle. The drop-off would be where the buses are dropping off now by the school.
Which is off the.
Yeah,
It's
off this
way
path,
off over
yeah.
here.
You see when you have the letters here on the side, if you have it looking at right side, that's where you can see where the access road is, but the high school starts just on the other side of that. So that's where they would drop off there to enter the school in the back side of it. But they could enter, we won't have people going in and out on Hyatt, or excuse me, Tipp Colesville, which then allows a safer entry.
Kessler-Colesville.
Yeah.
Kessler-Colesville, sorry.
So they'll have to come down, turn right onto Don Davis.
Yeah, they could come off 25A or come off
Hyatt.
Kessler-Colesville.
They had to go past the high school, turn right on Don Davis, and then enter
Yes.
the circle place.
Yes.
So the point is to try to get the traffic away from the front of the building, is that?
They're stacked up.
Instead of running across the street?
Yeah, just keep it off, keep the traffic clear. Even in the mornings, I mean, the buses are going to get around, people are having to go around the line of cars to enter many times. And we're trying to separate that, but that's part of it, but in the parking lot itself is problematic. With cars pulling in, kids getting out, walking across traffic, they're problematic issues there too. And parents are dropping off the loop and having to go into line and through the student parking right now to exit.
It's not safe.
No.
It's not the greatest.
Katie had mentioned stoplights. Can you inquire if they think that in the future even different versions would maybe be a beneficial, like a roundabout in there? Just roundabouts have a place. I'm not a huge fan of them personally, but there are places that they could be workable, so maybe just inquire.
I could follow up about traffic mitigation on
begged
Success Circle.
For a roundabout at Kessler, Colesville, and Peters, that's where I got hit head on for years and years. And they said that it's not in the cards there, which I don't understand. So.
And then just the full report that you sent to us, it had this done on December 10th, I believe, of 2025. Is there any reason that they picked that? Is that a busy time?
They picked it during school days.
Okay.
It was during school days. It wasn't when school wasn't in session, but that's just when they got to it.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's a lot of activity. I'd say that's a busy time of year for activities too, not just during the day, but the evening events with basketball, boys and girls basketball, wrestling activity. I'll find out that information on traffic mitigation, Success Circle, and bring that back.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding the construction or the summer phase 1 at the high school? Okay. Can you grab it? Thank you. Okay. Next up is citizens' comments. First up, Darlene McClurg from 1730 Rosemont Drive. Raymond Drive, Tipp City.
Yes.
On vaccination is not immunization. So if you want to go to the podium. Yes, ma'am. And you have 5 minutes when you're ready. And I'll start the timer. Mrs. McClurg, you might need to push the button on it's red. Okay.
Say it all again.
The button, is it on? Is it green?
Oh, it is green.
Yep.
Cool. Then you are good.
Okay. May I go back and grab one more thing?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay.
My name is Darlene McClurg. I live at 1730 Raymond Drive, Tipp City, Ohio. I taught in Tipp schools 35 years, several years in this beautiful building, LT Hall. And what I saw was so many learning disabled, so many kids coming in with EpiPens, inhalers, and Robert Kennedy Jr. has tried to put out the truth about this industry for 30 years. A pediatrician risks losing his medical license for telling the truth. Pharma Kennedy will tell you the pharmaceutical industry controls the health of our children, the health of this country. This is the 2024 schedule. In 1986, and that was after the vaccine industries could no longer be sued. Okay, they cannot be sued. Okay, there were 5 vaccines by age 1. 5. I had 5 by the time I was 18, and Ohio has every exemption. We have every exemption because many have fought hard. This, again, the 2024 schedule shows 32 vaccines by age 1. 32 vaccines going into a child by age 1, including pregnancy, including COVID shots. What is happening to these children? It is horrible to see so many injured children. What's the ingredients? Mercury. If a mercury thermometer broke in here, we would evacuate. You wouldn't have anyone in here for hours. The polysorbate 80, the polysorbate 20 carries that mercury into a child's brain. Aluminum was grandfathered in. It also causes autism, mental retardation. Over 110 books have been written about the fallacies of vaccines. Kids have to have booster after booster after booster. I had measles. I had chickenpox. The physicians with informed consent will tell you no vaccine stops the illness. It doesn't stop it for the child who took it. It doesn't stop it from spreading. Stanley Plotkin was the godfather of vaccines, and he, under oath, told the truth that the science is not true science. It's not a drug science where they're comparing a saline placebo and they have different control groups. No. All they ever do is compare Prevnar 13 to Prevnar 7. If it hasn't caused any more deaths, any more disabilities, they say it's safe. It's big money. We're up to 90 doses. 90 doses. The Bible tells us the devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And that is exactly what is happening. And I saw it. I taught 39 years straight, and you couldn't not help seeing it. And as teachers, we said, what is going on? Something is going on. And when you look at the ingredients, it's horrifying. Children, I have a picture of an autistic child's brain. He was 15 years old, died of autism. Chris Exley out of out of England, spent 30 years studying autistic children's brains, and it's very obvious they can see the aluminum.
Mrs.
They
McClure,
can see the harmful ingredients.
your time is up.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate your letting me tell the truth, because nothing's worse than seeing a child damaged for life. Over greed.
Next up is Kathy Bone. regarding school issues. Mrs. Bone, whenever you're ready.
Okay. On the agenda tonight, one of the items is the purchase of the property out here on West Edge. The city owns the property, which has remained undeveloped due to a water problem. Believe me, the city does not want to see green grass or farmland anywhere. So to me, it would have been developed if it was economically feasible by the city a long time ago. I'm sure the city's happy to get rid of it. It's a piece of property they won't have to mow anymore. But there is a natural spring that goes underneath it. School officials and city council discussed this topic at an earlier meeting last year. So Mr. Moran and 3 of the school board members are aware of the water problems there. But I have questions to ask, which I hope are brought up and answered when you get to this item on the agenda. Mr. Moran suggested using it as a construction drive for equipment during the building of the school, and then as an emergency exit after construction is done. Before you turn it into a driveway, have you checked with any other agencies, such as Miami County Soil and Water, or anyone else to find out how to develop this piece of property without disturbing the spring underneath? Are there other considerations that need to be put into place to not disturb the spring? How much more is this going to cost the taxpayers, especially if there are multiple extra things that have to be done to prevent the hindrance of the flow of the natural stream? I remember Dave saying that in 5 years, the school district will be operating with a $4 million deficit. With that projection, it seems to me that the school board should be watching what you're spending now, not later. I also see in the paper where the city is working with Mr. Moran to see how they can acquire the land on Broadway and the Board of Education office. The Ohio Revised Code 3313.41 shows the bylaws and procedures that need to be followed to get rid of school property. There's also school policy about school property and the correct ways to dispose of it or sell it. When I see all this going on, it reminds me of the catastrophic mess down at the football stadium. That mess came about because board members and council members were trying to do some backdoor dealing and go around school policy, which they did numerous times, and even ignored a survey done at that time that said the majority of those surveyed wanted the football stadium over by the high school rather than down in the pit in the park. It made more sense to be at the high school. I'm guessing eventually there'll be some wheeling and dealing with that as well. I'm sure there'll be some smooth talking to try to make people believe that all the property deals are legal and transparent and not going to cost the taxpayers anything. But smooth talkers have a bad reputation, and it has nothing to do with being truth tellers. I want to remind the board members that your duties are to the taxpayers. As I've said many times before, you are not in these seats to believe without question that Mr. Moran is transparent or honest in all of these dealings. I often question his intentions, as you should. It is your job to make sure the school policies and the laws are adhered to. And I'll hit 2 other topics. I find it very disrespectful that Mr. Moran gives you guys papers that we can't see. He hands them to you just like he did the traffic study. Now tomorrow morning I'll be on my computer and I will ask Dave, I want a copy of that. I shouldn't have to do that. All those papers should be forthcoming. They should be attachments where the public can see them while you're talking about them. That way I don't have to sit back here and say, what are they talking about? What did she mean by that? What's he doing? Those papers need to be attached so that the public can see them. That's what you all ran on, transparency, so let's see it start happening. And also, if anybody's keeping up with updating Mr. Stevens' evaluations, I just want to say that as of today, it has been 1 year since I sent him a FOIA request, Freedom of Information Act request. That request remains unfilled as of today. I can take the school board to court, but it's my money. It's my tax money. You guys are paid with, my tax money you go to court with. All I ask is that if you're going to evaluate him, there you go. There's a big no-no. So, with that, I thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Next, information. Oh.
Go ahead.
Informational reports. Mrs. Dillard, can you update us on the MVCTC, please?
Yes,
At this time, there are 1,868 applicants. The biggest programs
Move it closer. Yeah. You need to move.
are pre-nursing.
There you go.
Do I have to be that loud?
Yeah.
Can you start over?
Okay. The MVCTC board meeting was the second Tuesday of the month, and at that time, we get a communique from Mr. Weldy, and I'm actually going to start sending those on to everyone so you can see some of the updated information as well. There are 1,868 applications. The biggest programs, of course, are pre-nursing, cosmetology, and electrical trades. The schools with the greatest number of applications are Northmont, Huber Heights, and Miamisburg. It's a very busy spring, of course, just like with Tipp schools. The senior recognition, they do not call it graduation because the students will graduate with their home school, but the senior recognition will be at UD Arena on May 15th. The board had just regular things like we have resignations, hires, budget, all that sort of thing. But we do take note of a couple of Tipp students qualifying for a national competition in Business Professionals of America. That was Jordan Light. He earned a 7th place and the opportunity to go to the national competition. And the computer coding, our NASA finalists, pretty impressive. Junya Sakamoto, who was also just recently recognized for the Technical Honor Society, he'll be going to Johnson Space Center for that recognition.
Thank you. T.
Yes, so the Dream Big presentations, and just to remind everyone, those were presentations for larger sums of money for the school-wide projects. And 3 schools presented, and next meeting is when the members will vote on allocations and who's going to get what. All presentations were amazing. As far as the Teacher of the Year, the Red Devil Awards, the gifts have been purchased, and I think people will be extremely pleased. And then the call kind of goes out every meeting, so I'll put a plug to everyone here if you know anyone, or anyone out there if you know anyone. T's always looking for new members, and again, that's the Tipp Education Endowment, so if you're good with numbers or really anything, there's going to be a place for you. And the next meeting is going to be on May 10th.
Excellent. Can you still nominate for the Red Devil, or is that closed? The
You
teacher.
should be able to, and I will have to.
I couldn't remember if it was still open or not. So.
It's still open, but I don't remember the close date.
Okay.
So I'll get that to you.
Cool. Thank you. Parks Department.
Meets next month.
Okay. Thank you. And Community Services.
So they did not have a meeting for several months, but they had one this past month, and unfortunately it was the same night as the Top Scholars, but I did go over the minutes and the agenda. So they're just preparing for Lunch on Us, the huge program, and the summer vacation at the park. That's ages 4 to 8 in the mornings. They have really great programming for our littles. And there's also volunteer opportunities with Lunch on Us. You can get your organization to volunteer. You just have to contact Tipp Monroe Community Services. And if any of your teenagers need a summer job, they can use those at vacation at the park. And then we have the garage sale on Tipp this weekend. So we appreciate everything Tipp Monroe Community Services does for us. And again, donate for the lunch, the book bag lunch, or book bag food program that goes home with families as well. So
Thank you all for representing and just being there and listening to all the amazing things happening in our community. Next up, the treasurer's report. Mr. Stevens, can you go over the financial statements? And before you do, I just want to caveat, I apologize. Things are a little bit different this evening. There are attachments and board docs. However, there's a nationwide outage with the board docs program. And so we are unable to access that. So that's why we have some printouts that we're going through this evening, but they are the same documents on board docs. So I just wanted to let you all know. Mr. Stevens.
All right, I had provided the financial report for March 2026. The highlights, the property tax revenue collections are complete for the year. We did exceed the collections that were anticipated by the Miami County Auditor. That was expected by me due to the increase in valuation that we saw at the beginning of the year. However, while we've had a higher collection this year because of the unknowns currently with property taxes and House Bill 186 and others, we're going to see a clawback of those collections. We did receive a notice from the county auditor on the 23rd that they have sent information or requested information from the state, and the state has sent nothing back to them yet, so they just wanted to let us know that they've got nothing. So we're all still in a nice holding pattern as we wait to see what happens. And at my OASBO conference that occurred last week, the big talk was just to remind everyone that while we did see a lot of property tax laws that were enacted last year, there's still more coming. So just because we had things change last year doesn't mean we're not going to see more things change in the future. So there are still a lot of bills and other items up for discussion and vote. And so who knows what else we could be seeing here soon. I know that we recently spoke at a previous meeting about the idea of the abolishment of property taxes altogether being potentially placed on the ballot. And so that's something else that could be coming down the pike. We'll just have to wait and see. So the revenues did have the higher collections for the property taxes. We still have yet to receive the final homestead and rollback collection from the state, but I haven't seen that yet this month, and so if we don't get it this month, it should be next month. But once that comes, the dollar amounts for state share of local property taxes will be 100% complete as well. Right now we're sitting at 50% completed, so once we get that second payment, we'll be at 100% completed. Overall though, the revenues are higher than expected. On the expenditure side, we are trending lower. We are currently sitting at 70% of total expenditures for the budget, and we would normally be trending around 75%. The payroll and payroll and employee benefits currently trending where I want them to be. Purchase services is the one that is lower than anticipated. If these aren't spent, then we will save in the budget there, and we'll look to update what might be on the 5-year forecast. Maybe there's something there that we didn't need. Under capital outlay, you can see that we're currently well under budget, but that is because there's not a lot of budget in there, and a lot of large items have yet to be purchased. One of those was a bus. Tonight we are going to have an item that instead of buying a bus, we're buying a larger van. So a bus is usually about $130,000. This larger decked out van is $80,000. So we're going to see that purchase here soon. So we're going to see some savings that could be potentially moved to other capital asset items as well. And just for the record, capital asset is anything that's purchased with a 5-year useful life or more. So overall, interest collection continues to do well on our bond funds for the project, and we continue to keep putting that into the bank. Any questions for board members that I could answer at this time?
So this real estate collection, isn't it for the previous year?
So we do collect a year in arrears, correct. So for 2024, you're collecting in 2025. For 2025, you're collecting in 2026. Not every place does that, but that's how it's done in Ohio.
And is it the July or the January that's, like, will July be for the current year?
July is, so it's completely a year in arrear.
Okay.
So what we just collected was for last year property taxes.
And with the new changes in the rate, when will we see that impact?
They're trying to put it on for our August collections.
Okay.
And if they can. If they can figure it out, they will. If not, they'll just continue to collect. Yes, it would be less in August. If they can't figure the numbers out in August, then the county auditor will only be able to continue to push what we just did in February, so the collections will still be higher, and then they'll take back even more in February of 2027.
Thank you.
So, yep, you're welcome.
Any other questions for Mr. Stevens regarding the financial statements? Okay. Hearing none. Under Treasurer's Report number 2, I need a motion for the approval of the amended appropriations for 2026 as presented.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Thompson,
I'll second.
Ernst, second. And I'll open the floor for discussion. I'll start with Mr. Stevens.
As I mentioned, provided to the board earlier, there were only 3 funds that had adjustments. Our other grants, we received a career awareness grant from the MVCTC, and Tipp Foundation also provided grants that the board's approved. And then we did have a change in our Power of the Pen budget. They're now going to state, and so they had to budget a little bit more of their cash balance. And last but not least, we budgeted the Stage Crafters program. Now that we have determined that we are going to move forward with that this summer, the budget needed to be submitted for Stage Crafters, and the tennis team made a small change. So only $20,000 roughly in increased appropriations, none of that in the general fund.
Questions for Mr. Stevens?
The Stage Crafters and those that you mentioned, you said that's out of the district planning activity fund? Okay, I just wanted to
Yep.
check that.
Yep.
Thank you.
That operates out of the drama club
Yeah.
in the 300 funds.
Any other questions? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Wyman,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes. Motion passes, and the appropriations are approved. Okay. All right. Next is our consent agenda, and we don't need to vote on this again since we, just a reminder that we approved it when we approved the agenda at the beginning of the meeting. But in the consent agenda, it includes the meeting minutes from March 23rd, work session and regular meeting, retirement of a transportation staff, leave requests, an overnight trip of middle school student groups participating in state competition, and a school van purchase, and a donation, acceptance of community donations supporting art and music programming. Next is our new business. Section A, I need a motion for the approval of the staffing recommendations to ensure readiness for the upcoming year, and this would be based on all paperwork and background and everything else of being taken care of and covered. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Dillard,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Wyman,
Abstain?
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes, and the new hires are approved. Welcome to Tipp City Schools. Next, I need a motion to approve the substitutes for the cafeteria and custodial substitute. Do I have a motion?
A motion?
Thank you. I'll go ahead and second. Open the floor for discussion.
I will just note that Mr. Stevens, Tristan Stevens listed there, is my college-age son who's home for the summer. So
Oh.
he will be, his sister worked as a custodian a couple years ago, and he's looking to clean this place up.
Wow.
He's very excited.
Okay.
Kim is excited to have him as a custodian.
Okay. Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Wyman,
Abstain.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion has been approved. Again, thank you for your service for Tipp City Schools. Next, I need a motion to approve, I believe it was 181 graduates for the class of 2026, with the caveat that all graduation requirements are met and completed by the time graduation occurs. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion to approve the list of graduates.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
Dillard Thompson. Any discussion?
Congratulations.
It's so exciting.
Very excited.
Anything else? Okay. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes,
Wyman.
Yes.
and the motion is approved. Congrats. And just a reminder that graduation will be held on Saturday, May 23rd at 7 p.m. at Hobart Arena in Troy. I'm just making sure. I would have had that on my computer, but I don't, so I apologize. Let me phrase it again. Saturday, May 23rd, 7 p.m. at Hobart Arena. We're looking forward to celebrating these young men and women on their accomplishments. Next, under new business D, I need a motion for the approval of property acquisition to establish emergency access and improve pedestrian safety as in the purchase agreement provided. Do I have a motion?
I'll motion.
Thank you. Mrs. Dillard, second.
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. And I'll open the floor for discussion and questions. And the purchase agreement is provided.
We're appreciative of the city. This will make our building much safer, having another entry point.
I will note, on January 31st of 2024 and on February 3rd of 2025, then City Council member John Kessler noted of an active spring under the property. And under the purchase price, section 3C, usually when you have a purchase for such a little amount, it's not because it's trying to be kind, it's transferring liability out of the city. So I also noticed there was no due diligence, inspection, contingency, anything built into this. So seeing as though John did mention that, and that is on the record, what are we doing as far as our due diligence to know that that is actually reasonable and that we're not just buying a natural spring that's going to become a sinkhole? And there's the warehouses. I don't know if anyone's been out toward Leitner, but the warehouses that have been built out there, the retention ponds weren't dug deep enough, and so the properties around there, their basements for the first time in 60 to 70 years are flooding. And so I think we're also taking on a potential litigation risk for surrounding properties, that if any of our construction does lead to additional flooding, we are not exempt from them being able to come back on us as a school district. And I just, I guess I need to understand if there were any other emergency exit plans and kind of if there has been any due diligence on our end to see if there's any validity to those statements made.
So I can get a fuller answer to answer. I don't know all your questions that you're proposing. What I can say is that we have done work, we've done borings that have not indicated that, and we will continue to work with the city to make sure that it's an accessible construction piece. We don't have, it's our, if we take on this property, it would be ours. We're using it right now for pedestrian traffic. That's a way for our walkers to get to the building, and it would be a way for them to get to the building at the very least. I think the emergency access drive on the high level makes a whole lot of sense if we can do it. If we find out information down the road that says we can't right now, the information is saying we can. We've done borings. We're not seeing the water issues there's concern, but it's not our property to go further with it. Once it's our property, we can go further with it, and we may find stuff, we have to deal with things, but right now that's the information for that.
Besides boring, has the city, not us because it's not ours, has the city done any geotechnical studies in relationship to the property that you know of?
I'm not aware. Again, that's my high level. I don't have a complete answer to say one way or the other. I can get some information to answer those questions, but I won't be able to, I don't have that at this time. This is something that, again, has been out there. If that was a question, I would have liked to be able to answer that fully.
I was at those meetings and we approached the city for this property, and it was brought up initially right away. And the city is very willing to work with us in regards to everything, was my understanding at the meetings. So again, I think that it's going to make it we want a safer environment for our children to have access, possibly for emergency vehicles in case Hyatt would be closed. And I think that it's whatever the spring underneath, we can address those issues, but right now it doesn't seem to be a problem. So.
Can you clarify, you said they're willing to work with us in regards to everything. What does that mean?
Well, they were very, when we approached them about it, they were very open to the idea and very, I'm not sure what the word is I want to say, but they were willing to work with us. So I don't see that there'd be any problem whatsoever. The city has been, I don't think we've ever had the opportunities like we've had in the recent years to be working with the city as closely as we have.
And like Mr. Moran said, if something is awry with this property, I think that we would not put any of the homeowners there or any of the students or anyone else in danger. I think that we would need to back up, and if we needed to find an extra access point other than this one, I think that that's something down the road. So.
I just think all of the homeowners along West Edge have been extremely accommodating with the variance that was obtained through zoning to get a 3-story building, and particularly the 2 properties and the property across the street where you don't expect to be living next to basically what's going to become potentially an active driveway. You're living next to a walking path, and then the potential impact to their property values. I think that also needs to be evaluated in the decision to installing this, because they very much have been. I think the residents along there with the construction noise have been very accommodating. So that's additionally another factor.
We had meetings with them.
Well, the walkways has always been a walkway. It
But
just
walkways
wasn't.
aren't cars. Foot
But
traffic is not car noise.
No, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is for emergency access only.
It's not going to be used all the time.
So
once this is done,
it's not open for anything. It's gated shut. That'd be the intended purpose. So again, if there's some questions on that, I'm happy to get those questions and answer them fully. I think our kids need it for a walking path to get to the new building versus walking around. It makes sense for us to use it, and if we can, right now all indications are that we can do something with it for emergency access, and I'd like to continue to develop that.
And then on section 3B, it says all easements, restrictions, right-of-way, encumbrances of record. Do you know of any?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
We'll have to comply with code, obviously, with things like that for access to like the sidewalk and things like that. That'll have to be, if we put in an access, then the sidewalks would have to be done. Those are some of the requirements that would have to be on the west edge, right? If we have to take that out so cars can go in, we'd have to redo those types of things. But we'll continue to work with the city and being partners on how to make this work for everybody.
Any additional questions? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Dillard,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Lyman.
No.
Motion has passed. The approval of the property acquisition. Next is letter E, rebate services agreement. I need a motion for the approval of services to ensure compliance with federal bond requirements and mitigate financial risk. You can see the attachment. It's in board docs from Bricker Graydon that is attached. Do I have a motion?
All motion?
Thank you. And a second. I'll second. Lyman McMurray, sorry. I'll open the floor to Mr. Stevens for a brief description, please.
This is just the agreement between us and our bond counsel at Bricker, Graydon, Wyatt to perform the arbitrage services that we have discussed previously in the board meeting, indicating that, we are not allowed to earn more money and interest than the interest rate that we're paying out on the bonds. And so anything that's above and beyond what the interest rate collects, we have to forfeit that to the IRS. And so Bricker, this service is standard for bonds like this. We are legally required to perform a final calculation within 5 years of the bond receiving that. And it is also recommended by Red Tree and our bond counsel that we do an interim arbitrage calculation to determine how much we anticipate that we will have to pay in arbitrage, because you don't want to start spending your interest earnings before you know how much you have to pay. And so the services themselves will be paid from the interest earnings that we have received so far. So this is not anything coming out of the general fund or any of the project funds. It's from the interest in the project fund. The preliminary calculations will be done this summer, and they are charged at an hourly rate, and that is estimated to be between $10,000 and $15,000 per Matt Stout, the bond counsel person that we work with. They will have other people working on that calculation, not just Matt Stout. And then the final arbitrage calculation would be a flat fee of $10,000. And again, that would be done at the completion of the 5 years, so September of 2029. And again, the interest earnings that we've received so far will be paying for this.
Questions for Mr. Stevens? Okay, hearing none. Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Lyman,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes?
Dillard,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Motion passes. Next is new business, letter F. I need a motion for the approval of the calendar revision for the 2026-2027 academic year to increase pre-student teacher workdays.
All motion.
Thank you. I need a second, please. Oop.
Go ahead.
James.
Lyman, Thompson Plyman, please. I'll open the floor for discussion or questions. We've received this information previously. Okay, hearing no further discussion, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Thompson,
Yes.
Plyman,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
McMurray.
Yes, motion passes. And finally, in new business, I need a motion for the approval of the draft policies that were presented at the March regular meeting. For the Neola 44.2 winter update, this is the second and final read. I need a motion for the approval.
I'll motion.
And a second.
I'll second.
I'll open the floor for discussion. And that was you and Lydia, nope, you sat, Cindy, thank you for your time, making sure that the policies were updated.
Oh, those two.
Yeah,
So we will be dealing with just clarification, we'll be dealing with the AI policy.
oh yeah, we're not there
We'll
yet.
have that done prior to the next meeting and share it out with everybody before that.
Yeah.
For approval at the second reading approval in June, so May and June.
So
Anticipated.
I believe, are you still collecting information to give to Mr. Moran?
Yes, I have that.
Okay,
And then we're gonna meet just to reconvene.
okay, cool. So just for the record, the AI policy is not included in here, but it is a state mandate that we do have to have completed this summer.
By July 1.
By July 1st. So we thank you for, is it both of you or just both of you again? Thank you both. And then that first read will be available in May. And then the second read will be in June, hopefully for the approval of that.
Yep.
And since we don't have access to board documents right now, Mr. Stevens, do you have the list of the policy, that this would be the second read that we're voting on tonight?
I do not have that list, no. It's in board doc.
Yeah, I don't have it.
It was a whole slew
It's a
of them.
whole-
It was like 15 of them.
Yeah. Nothing has changed since the first read.
We did the first read last month.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Katie reminded me.
Yeah. There's a lot of reading.
Yes.
Not as much as previous ones.
Any further discussion or questions? Again, apologies that we are not able to access board docs, but nothing has changed since the first reading. The only one that is not included, just to ease everyone's mind, the AI one is not in there, hasn't even come to be yet. So, all right, Mr. Stevens, can you call the vote, please?
Ernst,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Lyman,
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. The policies are updated. Next, I need a motion to adjourn to executive session for to discuss the employment of a public employee or official.
I'll motion.
Thank you. Second?
A second.
All right, and we're going to,
You may want to add, there's no expected action.
oh, there is no expected action to be taken after executive session. But we will be returning to the regular session to finish the meeting. Okay. It is now
Let's
seven.
vote.
I need to vote for this?
Yeah. You have a first and a second. We have to vote
Okay.
to go in.
All right. I need a
Wait.
vote to adjourn to executive session.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ernst,
Yes.
Dillard,
Yes.
McMurray,
Yes.
Lyman.
Yes.
Okay, it is 7:49 PM and we will be going into executive session. We are returning from executive session to regular session at 8:41 p.m. and there is no action being taken after executive session. So moving on to miscellaneous items. The next work session and regular board meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 26th, 2026. The work session will begin at 5 o'clock and the regular meeting will begin at 6:30. The location will be at LT Ball Intermediate School, making sure that we also note that the library public hearing will be at 6:15 p.m. that night on Tuesday, May 26th, in between the work session and the regular meeting. Finally, may I have a motion to adjourn tonight's regular board meeting?
I'll motion.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second.
Thank you. And hearing no discontent, I call this meeting adjourned at 8:43 p.m.